All right, everybody, welcome back to Just Nerds. I am Blake. This is my good friend Jonathan, and today we are going to be talking more Smash Brothers about this most recent direct, which was the final direct. So pretty much everything has been revealed. And we have a lot to talk about because that was a long direct and a lot was shown. And let's go. Let's jump into this because I have been dying to talk to you about this ever since that it ended. I was like, oh man, we're gonna have a big old discussion.
All right. So the first thing I want to ask, because it's been a few days since the direct, what are your overall feelings about it? Because I know, I feel most people are pretty disappointed by it.
I get that impression too. I'm personally for me, I still think this is going to be the greatest video game ever made. I'm still 100% sold on it. I was sold on it before whatever. I know why certain people are disappointed. And we'll get into that as we start going into more specifics of every little thing that they showed off. But for me, personally, I'm still 100% sold on this. I still think this is going to be an amazing game. I see myself investing hours upon hours into it. That's where I am. What about you?
Yeah, I'm around the same like mindset. I was not necessarily disappointed, but I was expecting a little bit more because it was like 40 minutes compared to the 25 we got. And, we'll get into that as we go. But, however, I still really like the direct. And, yeah, like you said, this is going to be the greatest game ever made. And I've already pre-ordered my copy. I am ready to go.
Nice. All right. So I think with the first place, I was going to save this part for the last for the last portion of our discussion, but I think we should start with it. Because I think it's really what is teetering people's disappointment. So let's start talking about the characters, and I mean all of them. So let's start with newcomers first. So, how do you feel about Ken's inclusion overall?
Overall, I really like it. I love Ken from Street Fighter. I know, like when we play Street Fighter, I always pick Ken. You always pick Ryu, and I like Ryu in Smash. However, I never felt inclined to pick him up all the time. Like, he's fun, but not the most fun for me. However, even though, he's a clone, and, he has a decent amount of differences from what we saw, I am hyped to play Ken. I can't wait.
Cool. Exactly. Like you said, I'm more of a Ryu person, so I'm probably going to be sticking with him as like playing as him more often, but...
I mean, we can have our Ryu and Ken fights on Smash.
Dude, it's gonna be so amazing. But hold on, I just want to know. I am so shocked at the level of style this guy has in the game. Like, oh my gosh, he has so much style. His trailer was awesome. I think that they captured Ken really, really well.
Yeah, I would say I was up on my seat. I went up from my seat because I was so hyped because he looked so good.
Yeah, I think they might have captured Ken and a lot better than Street Fighter V even did, which is bad. But I mean, still, he has so much style that I might play him a lot more than I usually would. But we'll see, man. He looks great. I like the tweaks that they gave to him. Like, he has more kicks. He has he's got like the back throw, which does like the loop. I think that's really cool. He's got the sick final smashes. He's got two of them, which are both unique to him. I really like that.
Yep.
But I think my favorite thing is probably I love the, I don't know how to say it. He just has so much style with all of his moves. Like, it feels like you're playing Ken, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think they captured the character super well, and so I'm excited. I think that was a great inclusion.
Yeah, I saw a lot of reactions. Like, I mean, yeah, we kind of expected Ken. I mean, I think that's just because everybody assumed, like, all the top 5 choices like for normal or echoes. We're like, yeah, we'll probably get Ken. I mean, that wasn't ever confirmed at all, And so
and I think
just like he was included, I was like, oh my god, it's actually happening. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think when they first announced Echoes, like Ken was on everybody's mind for the most part, because like he is, even Sakurai pointed it out, like he is the original Echo fighter, or maybe it's Luigi apparently.
Can I point out Nintendo pointing out Luigi as the original Echo, just all of a sudden?
Yeah, I know, for real. I thought that was funny, but it's whatever. Still though, I'm super glad to see him in. I was kind of in my heart, me and my other friend were talking about this. I was kind of in my heart really hoping that there would be a chance for Akuma.
Okay, yeah.
But the only reason was because like a lot of people were theorizing that the game was pushing heroes versus villains. I didn't necessarily see that happening, but I felt like if that was happening and I just didn't notice, that they'd include Akuma just to have a villain, like they would include Shadow. But we'll talk about that later, of course. But I think Ken is overall the much better choice. In retrospect.
My boy Ken, I can't wait.
Yeah. So, so that concludes on I think our feelings on Ken. But let's move on to the next one, who pretty much deconfirmed everything that was leaked, allegedly. And beyond that, genuinely surprised me on a whole new level, and that is Incineroar. I don't know about you, but I think I mentioned this to you once or twice. I was not convinced that we were going to get a Gen 7 Pokemon at all, because like I just didn't think there was a Pokemon that could represent the game or be that iconic. Because like Greninja now is like hugely iconic. If you look at all the Pokemon, the only one who kind of like doesn't quite fit is maybe Lucario. Just because like he's not a legendary Pokemon, he's not a starter, he's just kind of a significant Generation 4 Pokemon that had a movie at the time of Brawl. And so I was like, I don't think they're gonna pick a Gen 7 Pokemon because there's really not one that I can point to and be like, that right there is Generation 7 in a nutshell. But I can do that with like Greninja or Charizard or so on and so forth. But how do you feel about Incineroar? Or rather, how did you react to Incineroar being
I guess from my initial reaction from Ken, Incineroar I wasn't as hyped about, just because I love Ken and think Incineroar's okay. I don't really like him that much as a Pokemon. But I'm not super hyped about him, but I think it is still really cool that he's in the game. And his moveset looks really interesting since they emphasized him as like a grappler character. I was like,
yes,
interesting. Okay. So even though I'm not super hyped, I'm still really glad that he's in the game. I think he looks interesting.
Yeah, you were gunning for Decidueye more than Incineroar for sure.
I love Decidueye.
I remember that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and I thought Decidueye would. I honestly felt that either way, if they either went with one or the other, I was gonna be happy because in Decidueye we could have gotten like a Ghost Zoner with grass moves, so like he could like leech health off people. Like I felt like he could do a lot of cool, interesting stuff. I also felt like Incineroar would be a cool thing because he's a fire grappler and that's sick. And I know we have a somewhat grappler in Bowser, but not really. So I was like, either one is fine. I mean, if we got Primarina in there, I would have cried because that's my personal favorite from Generation 7. But of course, it's never gonna happen because nobody liked Primarina, unfortunately. I did, but
I think she's fine. Yeah, then in a good way. I do feel like out of like at least the 3 starters, that Incineroar is the most interesting. Just what we've seen that they are going to do with him. You look, you can carry on.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. One of the things though that so when I first saw that, I was kind of happy, but I was also kind of like, oh, that sucks because all the Grinch stuff got deconfirmed, and you know, everybody was hyped for the Grinch stuff. But I was like, you know what? Doesn't really matter to me. I wasn't gunning for either side. I was like, I don't care. This game's already amazing. The moment they put King K. Rool in, I was gonna buy it day and night over. So I mean, but if there's one thing I have to note on Incineroar, is that I am so goddamn happy that we were able to get like his signature stuff in there. Like they got his signature move, Darkest Lariat, in there. I was like, that has to be part of this moveset. You cannot not give the Pokemon his signature attack. They put in his Z move as his final smash, which was legit. I am so happy that they did that. And all of his moves are actually I think you can actually teach him those moves. So I think it's the most accurate moveset we've seen on a Pokemon fighter in the game. So that's cool to me. Like I love the characterization of him too. How he poses after each successful attack. The side B was something I definitely did not see coming. I was like, what the heck? But then when he did the Lariat, I was like, oh, that's sick. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Like that is one of the coolest moves in Smash Bros. Any doubt I ever had about Incineroar coming in, I'm so happy he's here. He is going to be one of my absolute favorite characters for sure. I'm so excited to give him a try.
It looks like a Blade character. It's not gonna be fun. Oh,
yeah. It's exciting, and I thought his trailer was cool. Can I just say now? Hold on. My favorite part of that entire direct was when Incineroar turns around and sees Villager like ready to bop him, like he's going at it. Like, oh my gosh, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. That was hilarious. Like he's actually moving though. Like he's actually like, yo, let's go, come on, beat you right now. He's like we're talking Creed levels of boxing style there. That was hilarious. That concludes my feelings on Incineroar. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, that was about it. Out of the two, I was more excited about Ken, but Incineroar still looks interesting. I'm gonna hate playing against him when we ultimately both get the game.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. It's gonna be some fun times. It's gonna be fun. Now, when Incineroar was wrapped up, I was like, I'm convinced we're gonna have some sort of surprise at the end. Some sort of character that like in some fashion we're going to talk about, whether it be a DLC character, whether it be the last newcomer, whether it be something. Like I knew we would talk about something. So when he said like we have a limited time offer, I was like, okay, what is this? And the trailer started. I thought it was going to be like a secret assist trophy because he said we had 59 assist trophies, if I correct?
Yeah, interesting number.
Yeah, it was. That's what I said. I was like, 59 is such a weird number. Like, it's such an uneven number. I was like, you got to go for 60. There's got to be something else. I was definitely not expecting to see a playable piranha plant in this game at all. That is, I think out of the entire history of Super Smash Brothers, like all the way back to like 1990, gosh, when did the first one come out? I think 1998, 99? Back then, I think that this character is single-handedly the greatest what the flying heck character ever in the history of the game. Because, I mean, what? Like, nobody ever saw that coming. Nobody. I don't know about you, but my initial reaction was when they were showing off the footage was complete and utter silence. I was shocked quiet. Like I just and I'm gonna post my reaction because I filmed it, but I was so quiet during the entire thing. Like I was like, what? Like I couldn't believe it. But what was your reaction to Piranha Plant?
Well, we'll get into more specifics later. But I was disappointed about like before that happened from a certain announcement. But then when that happened, I like one eye was like squinting, like what?
Yeah.
What the what is this? What? But so yeah, it was around the same as yours, but just with more like disappointment, I guess, because there's so many characters that people wanted, and a lot of those I didn't care for as much because I haven't played those games. I was like, there's so many characters in all of gaming.
Yeah.
And they picked a piranha plant. And I was thinking, is this like a full character? Is this like half a character?
Yeah. That was my thing too.
But like I guess I've recovered. And like he looks interesting. I will say that. Like I don't think I'm gonna pick him up that much. I'll pick him up in the beginning because they added him in. I gotta try him out.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this throughout the entirety of this video. It was interesting. It was not expected.
Yeah, for sure. So initially I was like, I was of the exact same mindset as you. I was like, so many characters could have gotten in this spot, and that's especially because they revealed assist trophies before Piranha Plant.
I think that was
little salt.
That did help. Yeah,
some salt on that wound. But after going through like his character fighter video, after rewatching the direct a few more times, specifically his portion, watching other people react, I gotta say, it's kind of astounding to me that there's so much character with just the generic enemy. Like there's actually like the way he moves is unorthodox and it's hilarious. His little roots are poking out from behind, under the pie.
The little feet, I like it.
Yeah, and he runs with his tongue out and with his tongue out, and I think that's adorable. His taunts are hilarious. He does a little smile because he's like, "Yeah, I'm in Smash, Waluigi," and it's just, oh man, it's funny. Like, and I think his moves, like when I was looking at them, they looked so weird, but I was like, you know what? These actually make sense. Like they actually do, and I think he's actually going to be one of my favorites because he just looks fun. Like he looks like a troll character in every sense of the word. Like he just looks like a ridiculous choice. He's like the new Jigglypuff. So I'm excited. I think he's going to be super fun.
I can't wait till he's top tier.
I know he's going to win Evo. The Piranha players.
Oh my god.
But I'm one of the things that I initially I think was upsetting to me was how he was being distributed. Because I wasn't like fond of the fact that like it was limited time. I know he isn't limited time offer. Like you can pick up the fighter. I wasn't huge on like the free, like because I don't like any sort of like pre-order bonuses that like restrict you from things that are like you want. You know what I mean? Because like there's good pre-order stuff, which is like, hey, you get some cool skins if you pre-order the game, you know what I mean? But like then other ones are like, hey, this cool character who's really, really good, like Darkseid or whatever, you gotta pre-order the game to get them, and if you don't, I guess that's $7 down the drain, you know what I mean? So things like that are generally for me disappointing. So on that note, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But then again, they did this with Smash 4 with Mewtwo. And Mewtwo, to get Mewtwo free, you had to basically essentially pay like $100 because you had to buy both versions. And so I think this is generally preferable over what they did with Mewtwo. But still, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? That's okay. It's just Piranha Plant. It's not like it's, it's not like it's Isaac or something like that. It's not like it's one of the most hyped characters people have been wanting for years. You know what I mean? So that's generally how I feel about Piranha Plant's kind of distribution. But is there anything that you had to kind of say on that, or?
No, not really. My thoughts were around the same as yours. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say on that.
Yeah, but overall, I'm very excited for the character. He looks like a character I just have to try him. I just have to. Like, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like you cannot just go and pick up this game and be all like, I am not going to try Piranha Plant. Like, you have to try Piranha Plant. But then let's talk about some other characters that aren't technically fighters. Let's talk about assist trophies and the
All right.
deconfirmed
Yep.
fighters. And I want to start with the one that actually surprised me the most, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Because I thought, so like all the evidence in the entire world.
So I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So the Grinch League, with all all the
Yes.
new characters, people think the Grinch was actually gonna be in Smash, or is it just everybody else that they thought?
That's just everybody else. That's just a troll. Nobody ever thought the Grinch was gonna.
No, because they keep calling it the Grinch League. I'm like, why do they keep calling it this? Do people actually think? Okay, but I just want to clarify that.
No,
because
yeah.
I assumed not that it was just trolling, but some people.
Yeah, I don't know
internet,
how.
so.
Yeah, I don't know how much you invested into the Grinch League. I was adamant into it. Like I wanted to learn if this was fake. If this
I knew
was
all the
real.
stuff.
Huh? What was that?
I like knew all of it, but I don't know. I guess I more inclined that it was true. I guess just with all the evidence.
Yeah, so for me, I was strictly on the fence throughout the entire. Like I saw a ton of evidence, kind of suggesting this is real. This is the final roster, and then I saw smaller evidence, kind of saying, "Come on, does that really make sense?" There was a lot of good stuff thrown on both sides. I wanted to stay exactly on the fence because, generally speaking, if this is the final roster, awesome. I love all these characters. This is going to be the best game ever made. I was convinced of that the moment it was announced. But on the other side, I was like, but does it really make sense for them to include all these fighters? Literally everyone who's ever been wanted for Smash Bros.
Yeah. That's good.
And then for him to go and initially say, we hope you're not expecting too many newcomers. That's a little weird. But overall, I was happy either way. I was going to be happy either way. But I genuinely did think that Shadow was going to be in this game. Like
Ken, I thought he was a shoo-in.
Yeah, exactly. But and like the fact there was a ton of evidence suggesting that Shadow would make it in because like his assist trophy hadn't been revealed. They introduced Echo fighters. Most of the Echoes are, they introduced Chrom, who is an Echo, yet has substantially some different moves there. Like he has Ike's up air or up special. I was like, well, they can do the same thing for Shadow. They can make his up be Chaos Control or something like that. So there was just so much kind of leading me to believe that Shadow was going to be in the game, and I am genuinely shocked that he's not there. Like, I just thought I like Ken, like you said with Ken. I thought he was a shoo-in. Like I thought he was guaranteed at this point. So, that was a shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not disappointed in it because I was always kind of like, yeah, if Shadow gets in, that's cool. If he doesn't, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I really wanted him in because, I think we both love Shadow.
Yes.
But when his assist trophy was shown, I went, oh, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get over it.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that also kind of surprised me was the fact that Knuckles is an assist trophy as well. Like, and just not because of Knuckles himself, but like, it was like, did Knuckles replace Shadow? Like, did they take Shadow out so that we could, So let's talk about the second choice because I think we kind of wrapped up on Shadow. This one is genuinely baffling to me. So let's talk about Isaac.
Okay.
Golden Sun.
Yes.
So there has been an insane amount of demand for Isaac over the years.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That much I know. I have never played Golden Sun. It looks like a fun game. It looks like a really fun game, to be fair. But like, I have never played a game like that. I've never played a game. But I have to say, after seeing the amount of demand for this character and the level of hype for him when the Grinch League came out, like people were so excited. I'm honestly at this point convinced that there is something completely out of Sakurai and the development team's hands that is preventing him from being a fighter in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what it is. I genuinely don't know. I couldn't even begin to guess what that is. But like, I honestly am convinced that there is something that is that's just preventing him from being in the game, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Yeah, because I'm the same boat. I don't play the games either, but I guess I didn't know that he was such a big like people wanted him until Smash 4, like the ballot.
Yes,
but the biggest like part of the Grinch League that made sense to me that he would be in it was the fact that the earthquake happened in Japan and they had to take stuff out to the sensitivity of the event. Certain games and stuff. However, someone said that Isaac's one of his most iconic moves is earthquake.
Yes,
and it wouldn't make sense to put that after what just happened. Okay, well that makes perfect sense because they've been known, even TV shows have been known to take stuff out because of events that have happened, real world events. And I went, okay, that makes perfect sense. So yeah, and especially all the demand for Isaac, I thought, except in terms of new characters, I also thought he was kind of a shoo-in to be in the game. But then, when he was shown, I went, oh, that sucks for everybody else.
Yeah. It really does. I'm just kind of shocked. Like that's why I'm so convinced that he just can't be in the game. Like there's just something that will always restrict him from being in the game, because why wouldn't you at least save him for DLC? If you got to take him out, like at least sell him later because people will be happy. But like, I genuinely think that there's just something going on there, whether it be between developers or whatnot, that is just restricting him from being in the game, and I don't quite know what that is, but really does suck. He looked like a fun character. He would have been a really cool character. I like his because he has a lot of unique moves. He's not just another sword fighter. He looks like he has a lot of cool stuff, but unfortunately not the case. So, and then I wanted to talk about the final assist trophy that was actually deconfirmed via the website. Skull Kid. So, I don't know if you know too much about this, but there was actually quite a pretty significant group of people that were like actually gunning for Skull Kid to be a fighter because his assist trophy was similar case to Shadow, not revealed.
Yeah, I just know it was for top newcomers. It was like Skull Kid, Gino, and Isaac.
Yeah, and there was also this was tinfoil hat stuff, but the chairs in the second Nintendo Smash Direct were the color of the two fairies he's with, Tattle and Tail.
Yeah.
I always kind of thought that if he got in, that'd be a little strange that we'd have so much classic Zelda representation. Just because, like, you had Ocarina of Time Ganondorf, you had Ocarina / Majora's Mask Young Link. Like, that's two from, like, a very short period of time between two games. And then you had Breath of the Wild Link, Link Between Worlds Zelda, and Toon Link.
Yeah, but I guess just because he's so iconic, it made sense to me why he would.
Yeah. I always thought that, but see, I agree with that because he is a very iconic character. I guess I just kind of was like, well, I feel like they would have tried to shoot for someone in the middle, like someone Skyward Sword or Twilight Princess, to include to like some of that game degree. But I guess Skull Kid does make a lot of sense because he was he was a character that a lot of people really, really thought was interesting. I thought they might go with like Midna, if anybody, but I think Midna got revealed in the initial trailer, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but anyways, that sucks. I think he would have been a pretty cool character. Pretty interesting, but unfortunately, back to an assist trophy. So. That kind of sucks.
Should we talk about not an assist trophy, but another character that got not as much so, but pretty much deconfirmed? The elephant in the room for me.
Okay, yes. I actually was gonna try to avoid talking about it just because I didn't want to remind you.
Sorry, Blake. We are a co-funded company here on YouTube. We have to talk about it. When you see my reaction, I literally, when I see the costume, I'm literally like, yo, I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
oh, like I actually broke down. I was like, I cannot believe it. Like, because
Yeah.
I was telling you, I was
Yeah.
convinced that he'd be in the game in some fashion. And I actually want to stress, I still think it might be possible.
Yeah. Well. I mean, we'll get into that later. But can you
of course.
provide some context about what we're talking about?
So there was another potentially deconfirmed fighter in the form of a Mii costume for Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yes.
And me and John were both fairly convinced that the character would be coming because Xenoblade has one character, and it feels like almost every series has at least two.
Mm-hmm. And just the fact that Xenoblade 2 is it's become such a big game on the Switch.
Yes.
And that game alone, though I know like X has its fans, but I know a lot of people kind of say, it did a lot of things people didn't like. But in 2, it's the most popular Xenoblade game, the best-selling one, and because of that game, the developers are like, yeah, we can now really, we might make a Xenoblade 3, we can make a Xenoblade X2. Just, that game is so popular, and I thought, I mean, it makes so much sense for Rex to be in the game.
Yeah, and I was of the same exact mindset, man. I honestly was like, this character just can't. Like, he has such a unique move. He has a built-in final smash. He's got Pyra and Mithra as, like, special moves or as, like, some sort of, like, interesting mechanic there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it would have, Sakurai, he always puts representation for smaller games.
Yeah.
Like Shulk from the first Xenoblade.
Yeah.
And it would have made perfect
sense. Who Shulk was. I didn't know who Shulk was.
Yeah, I agree.
But I just, man, that sucks. It really sucks.
So I'm gonna take a little bit of the reins for it for this section. So, I was hoping that they'd be in the base game, or Rex and Pyro / Mithra. But so the assist trophies get shown, and I was so tense. I was like, don't. And then they showed, I forget who they showed. It was one of the last people. I think it was Tiki from Fire Emblem. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't think anyone really expected that, but I thought they're getting a little too close to characters that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't be Rex. And then, okay, I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, they didn't show him. But then they showed the Mii costume for Rex in Xenoblade, and my heart dropped. I was like, and then and then the Piranha Plant happened right after, and I was so disappointed because King K. Rool was Blake's like kind of main fighter that he wanted, and I was like, okay, that's cool, that's awesome. However, the only character I want is Rex. Shadow, he's not in the game, that's fine. Skull Kid and Isaac, everybody else wanted those. That's fine. I didn't want them that much. I just wanted my boy Rex, because I think, honestly, except for just loving Xenoblade 2, I think he would just be a super interesting character, really unique. They could implement things from Shulk, but not make him Shulk. Like you said, with the Pyra and Mithra mechanic, they could do that. And again, we'll get into it when we talk about DLC, but goddamn, I really thought Rex would be in the game, and he could still be later on. But I guess what makes it really interesting, and again, we'll get into it later. Right after that, when they talked that Rex, was a Mii costume, they talked specifically that, okay, well, Rex is a Mii costume, but also these Xenoblade 2 characters, they are spirits in the game. I was like, that's so weird that they didn't do that for any other franchise. Talk about specifically, okay, well, these people from this franchise are stickers. It was specifically these Xenoblade Chronicles 2 characters are stickers. They're in the game in some way. I thought, they have to recognize the want for all those characters. It's just so weird that they put so much focus on it.
Yeah, I actually 100% agree, and I noticed that when I was first watching, and I was all like, they're actually going through making sure people know that like we didn't
Yes.
forget about the game. It's not like we didn't know it existed. He actually, I think the funny thing is he actually justifies it. Like he actually like going or tries to justify it rather by saying something like, "Well, we started the game." And like he kind of says like we had every intention of putting Rex in, but like the game was announced after planning began, so it's like we
Yeah,
couldn't really squeeze him in there.
that was like the main defense against Rex.
Yes.
That because Ultimate probably started around like the late Wii U era or early, mid Wii U era after Smash 4 came out.
Yeah.
That he probably wouldn't be in it because of that, but I thought, I mean, if anyone could be in the game, despite that, it would be Rex.
Yes.
And plus, Xenoblade 2 was probably also planned for Wii U, if you gotta be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like late Wii U. So I thought, well, the way games are planned and everything, Nintendo knows about these games months, even years before they come out.
Yeah.
I thought, there could be an exception, but
yeah, no, I'm the same mindset. I'm gonna assume that there was just kind of a I'm gonna assume that when Ultimate started planning, Xenoblade was already sort of somewhat in its planning stages. I imagine though that it's sort of not quite a Greninja situation where it's like because Greninja was chosen specifically off of design alone. I imagine Xenoblade didn't really start with design characters first, and then we'll put them in this own world. I imagine that they.
Yeah.
What kind of world?
Plus, it's like Pokemon versus Xenoblade. Just completely different in terms of popularity.
Exactly, and so I'm disappointed too because I do like Shulk as a character, and I think Rex would have been a really cool choice as well. But I guess we can hope for DLC, which actually brings us to the next portion that I want to talk about, since we're still on the subject of characters. DLC has been confirmed, but I wanted to talk about characters that we kind of hope for, and then characters that we actually think are most likely to appear. So we already went over Rex. Did you have any others that you were kind of hoping for in some way?
I mean, not really, because at this point, well, they're going to come up with new fighters. But at this point, almost everyone is in this game already.
Yeah, that's
so it's really hard, except for like third-party characters that are either impossible or very unlikely. It's hard to speculate on who is going to be in this game, especially with the assist trophies deconfirming a lot of those characters.
Yes, and I think one of the things that's also very interesting is that now that we have Cloud and Piranha Plant, well, it's funny to say, but like it's because Cloud is such an impossible choice, and then Piranha Plant is an impossible choice because of different reasons. Like we have the two most impossible characters ever because of one's based on like he's just in the no touch zone, and Piranha Plant is in the can't move zone. So it's like anybody can get in this game.
Yeah, like Cloud, like you said, when Cloud came out, it's like really anything is possible in terms of potential for characters.
Yeah.
But when Piranha Plant was released or announced, it's like, okay, so anything is possible for anything.
Yeah, so we could literally have like Goomba in Smash Brothers, which I wouldn't be surprised actually. I have a few hopes. Nothing huge. I don't have like a huge list of I want this, I want this. No, I just want like the only one that I truly, honestly, earnestly want is Rayman. I don't think it's gonna happen, because Nintendo likes Ubisoft, but I don't think they're like buddies.
Yeah.
They co-developed like one game, and I think that's about it. So I think Rayman has a chance, but it's kind of a sliver of a chance, really. However, some other characters that I would like to see, I'd actually like to see Noctis from Final Fantasy 15.
All right.
Because we need another Square representative, but and I know Square has other franchises, but I feel like Final Fantasy is kind of the one. And and I know Noctis is in Tekken 7, but like, come on, he'd be so cool.
Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
I agree.
World of Light is Kingdom Hearts.
No, I see. Here's the thing, and I wanted to kind of talk about it. I agree with Sora. My concern is, would there be a stage? Because they said there's going to be a stage.
Mm.
and the stages are Disney stuff.
I mean, they
Most
could
of
do
the time.
Traverse Town.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking it's either going to be Traverse Town or their island.
Yeah,
And I
it'd
was
be
like,
one of those.
yeah. So I feel, see, that's the thing is like, I would be so down for Sora. I actually have no issue with the character. I'm just like, I feel like Nintendo would kind of have to dance around Disney. A little bit,
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
true.
I mean? And which is fine. If they can do it, they can do it. And you know what? Like we said, Cloud was impossible. Sora might be just as possible. Heck, we could hear the name Disney. You know? I also would like to see Heihachi from Tekken.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be
I'm
cool.
surprised we haven't got him yet. But I feel like we need the 3D fighter man back in this game, you know, and I feel like he's the face of the character, or the face of the franchise for the most part. So, however, that's kind of concludes my hopes. And did you say you had any more? Or?
So this is the DLC section.
Yeah, this is DLC. So
yeah, so Sora would be, I guess, the only one. People saying Banjo is a good possibility, which makes sense. I wouldn't mind that. It's just weird since we have Duck Hunt already.
Yeah, a little bit, but you know, they're different enough.
Yeah, he would be different.
Very
but I guess because I thought we were gonna talk this near the end. How good of a possibility do you think Rex has to be DLC?
I think pretty substantial because the game is a huge success now, like you've been telling me, and I mean, we're seeing that the characters are spirits now, so it's not like they're just saying like, oh, Xenoblade 2 didn't happen. Like, no, they're definitely leaning towards Xenoblade being something that they understand is very popular, that people have a lot of demand for, and I think there's a solid chance. I think that there is still the hope to cling on to. The only thing I could potentially see getting in Rex's way is if they're looking strictly at the Wii U ballot from the previous fighter ballot that they had back in Smash 4. If they lean too heavy on that, then Rex didn't exist at the time, so I don't know.
I feel like if they would have done that with the base game.
Yes.
Like a lot of those characters. So I feel like, go on.
No, I was gonna say which I've heard they have been doing. Like I heard they chose.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, they chose that's why they brought everybody back, was because a lot of people put in requests for previous fighters. They just brought everybody back. But anyway, but that's what I was saying. Is that they kind of are on the base game, but we'll see about the DLC 5.
Yeah, because I mean, I think assist trophies. I know people are hoping, but with the assist trophies, that's pretty much deconfirming a character.
Yes.
The Mii costumes, it's like that's kind of a weird, especially with the spirits now, because the spirit, like the stickers / spirits, are a weird middle ground. Yeah. It's like, well, they're including pretty much everyone in those as spirits. So it's really hard to say if, just because they're a spirit means they won't be in the game. Yeah. But the Mii costume, that's like an assist trophy and having the same character, that's really weird for Smash. So it's kind of deconfirmed to that's not going to happen. But the Mii costume, like this isn't just me because I want Rex, but like that, you can really get around that. It's not a huge deal. But yeah, I would say because of the Mii costume, no. However, just that they, again, specifically said, okay, well, Xenoblade 2 characters are in the game as spirits. So they recognize that there is a demand for them. Like, again, I think it's probably the only time they said specifically for a franchise, yeah, we know you guys want it, but we had to put it in as this instead of character. Yeah. So they know that the demand is there, that people really want it. But the biggest question in terms of that is how far are they in for planning DLC? Because they said that they haven't started working on it, like producing the characters, because they're still working on Smash Ultimate, the base game. However, like the planning, they probably already talked about it, but the question is how much? Because at first I thought, okay, well, they've probably already planned all the characters for the season pass. Like they probably had a discussion with Sakurai saying, okay, part of what we're talking about for Smash is the DLC because it is coming out. We're doing a season pass.
Mm-hmm.
What characters are we gonna have? But it could just be that they've merely discussed it. You know,
Yes.
that there will be DLC, and so we're gonna look at what characters we want, not necessarily if they've solidified what characters are DLC.
Yes.
So that's my biggest question.
Yeah, and I'm of the exact same mindset. I've heard potential leaks of what there's going to be.
I doubt it though.
But see, I'm of the same mindset. I don't.
The day after
that doesn't seem correct.
it gets announced now. I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, like I just don't feel like. And first off, I feel like this game has been airtight since its announcement. Like we were at a point where we didn't even know this game existed. Like you know what I mean, or we weren't even. Like there was a point where the announcement for the game was so ambiguous that we were like, is it a port or is it not? You didn't give us an answer. You know what I mean? And then they slowly revealed more information and revealed that it was a new game. And then so I feel like this game has just been too airtight to have its DLC already leaked. You know what I mean? And I've heard some crazy choices. I don't want to say what they are.
Okay.
But I hope they're not true. Is what I'm trying to say. I hope like at least one of them. Specifically one of them. I hope isn't true, just because I don't have an essentially a problem with it. I just don't see it being very interesting or fun. But I won't reveal what that is because it might be true because it's from somewhat credible. But I'm not going to say anything. So.
All right. So I guess my question to you would be, how far do you think they are in planning DLC? Do you think they know what characters you're doing already?
So they said by 2020 we'll have all of it. I imagine they've planned at least 3 of the 5 as of now, and I think as at least begun working on one of them because they're still finishing up Piranha Plant allegedly.
Yeah.
And I imagine that they're in like this middle-ish portion of finishing One Fighter, which I believe will be somewhat revealed next year, maybe like January, February, like during the Direct, during a new January Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, makes sense. Maybe even Evo, that would make sense.
Possibly, yeah. I think there will be one at Evo for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be like either number 3 or number 2, depending on how they want to dish it out. I think that the January reveal will reveal that the character will be available in March. And then I think eventually we'll have an Evo reveal for the second character, and that's depending on how they want to dish it out. I don't quite know. I don't know if they're just going to do one by one, or is it going to be like 1 and 2? Because like that, they kind of did something like that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So I'm with you on the planning stuff. I feel like they know what they want, but nothing's like the last 2 slots aren't like set in stone.
Yeah.
I don't think. As of now.
But I guess just to conclude this section, like bring it back to Rex, because I really wanted the game.
Yeah.
I think I'm about 50-50 because they put focus on saying we're putting these characters in, do spirits and like a Mii costume.
Yeah.
But it's 100% clear they know the demand for it. So I feel like it would be weird not to include him as DLC now that they've kind of revealed that. That this interest in that. But at the same time, just development is tricky.
Yeah.
It's hard saying where they're at. So even like if he is not in it, I would go. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, I know Sakurai said he would continue making Smash games if the demand is there. So maybe in the next one.
Yeah.
I don't like to talk about
Yeah, no.
next Smashes now, but
yeah,
at some point in Smash history, he will be in it. Like it would make sense to me if he was not in it.
Yeah,
but also weird at the same time.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance he'll be in the game, but only time will tell, unfortunately, and that's the worst part.
Yeah,
that we don't know.
I guess just a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you think they would do a season 2 of DLC now that they've released? Just because they've said, "Oh, it's a season pass." Like we know there's going to be 5 in this one season pass. Do you think they would do a second one?
For Smash Brothers, I heavily lean towards no. Just because They're barely adopting like fighting game stuff. You know what I mean? Like general fighting game stuff. You know, um, like a game like Dragon Ball, which we're huge on, like you and me are huge on, is a game that like we know is getting a season 2 because that's fighting games. Fighting games do that. They always give you more. They want to keep going for as long as they can. Whereas Smash Brothers will give you kind of 5 fighters distributed throughout all the way to 2020. Dragon Ball dished out fighters in 2s, and I think that game's only about a year old, correct? Barely a year old, I think, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it's gonna happen because if we're not getting all 5 until like near the end of 2020, which I assume is going to be the case, then I don't see Dragon Ball, or I don't see Smash Brothers getting a season 2. Whereas something like Dragon Ball will have its season 2 wrapped up probably by like next year, or announced by the end of this one, and then begun and distributed through next year. So I don't think so. However, I've heard rumors that this game is supposed to be competitive for a very long time.
Yeah, see, I'm in the mindset with you.
Yeah.
However, I also kind of heard those things where because this is like, the Ultimate Smash game where everybody's in it, is Nintendo thinking of making this like, especially because the Switch is so popular?
Yes.
I think they will stick with it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It would be crazy if they switched to a different console, in the next few years. The question is this going to be the primary Smash game for a really long time? So, like, instead of doing, we're doing a Smash 5 or Smash 6, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
A Smash 6, will we just make more updates to Smash Ultimate instead? Because it'd be more cost-effective, and people know this Smash. They know they like this one already.
Yes, and that's I have the exact same questions because it's I really don't know.
I sorry to interrupt, but
No,
Sakurai said, "Well, we know we'll get all the characters for this game, but we don't know for the next one." So that make Nintendo more inclined to stick with this for a while.
I could see it happening, 100%. But there's the question of what's going to determine that. Because Nintendo supports games, generally supports games, even if they don't sell very well. Generally. Sometimes they don't. But like I think that if the sales for the game itself and the DLC is substantially high, which I think it will be undoubtedly. Like everybody's gonna buy that freaking pass. Nobody's gonna not buy that. Yeah. I don't see anybody not buying that. Like even the people that are disappointed with the direct are gonna buy it. Like let's be honest. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, you're right.
If it just gets so monumentally high in terms of the profits, that is, I could see them doing a season 2, but I think it will be substantially smaller. I don't think it will be 5 characters with 5 stages and music. I think it might be like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like 5, if it really takes all the way to 2020 to get 5 done, I don't see them doing 5 more for another 2 years. So 2022 is, you know what I mean, going to be when we have everything, like everything is actually there. You know what I mean? I just don't see that. So if they do a season 2, it'll be smaller and it'll be like as a bonus, kind of like, hey, extra stuff because we just had the stuff to do.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, at this point it's all speculation, but yeah, we talked a lot about DLC at this point, so I think we should just move on.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about all the DLC and stuff like that. All I can say with certainty is that I am extremely excited to see what's going to happen. As I had with the initial roster, I truly don't care who gets in. I just want to have my characters because I'm already happy. I have so many characters to play as and to use that at this point, I'm already happy. So
Yeah.
All right. So I think we should move on to the next substantial piece of content that this game is going to provide us, and that is Spirits mode.
Yes.
So, first off, I want to say I'm surprised that it was actually called Spirits. I didn't know we were actually right. But
yeah, that was
yeah. So, however, let's just go off of initial reactions. We'll dive deeper into it, but let's talk about initial reactions. So, how did you react when everything was kind of revealed for what Spirits mode is?
Yeah, like you said, we'll go into it more in a second. Honestly, initial reactions was, all right. It was not what I expected because everybody was adamant that it was going to be the story mode because of all the cinematic trailers.
Yes.
But then when it wasn't, all right. I was underwhelmed, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And I can kind of relate. I was less underwhelmed and more just kind of mixed. But when I went back and watched the portion of when they're talking all about spirits, I realized that it wasn't because the mode itself and like the features it had, for me at least. It was more the fact that they didn't really talk about what it exactly was.
Yes.
That was my issue. There was never, he just kind of jumps into spirits and was like, here's what you can do, and it's, instead of telling us, well, what am I doing?
Yeah, I was
gonna
say that my biggest disappointment with Spirits, and I guess the direct itself, was it wasn't necessarily Spirits itself, even though I was underwhelmed because we thought it would be the adventure mode, but that was later. It's the fact that they spent like 20 minutes on it, but they also didn't talk a lot about it. It was mainly the mechanics of the spirits.
Yeah, I understand. I more or less, I agree, but I also feel as though I'm not disappointed in the mode itself. For me personally, I actually think it looks like a lot of fun because, in my opinion, it looks like a mix of kind of like adventure mode and subspace with a touch of customs from Smash 4. And event matches with a little bit of brawl stickers. So it looks like it's this kind of stew of different kind of ingredients taken from Smash things that didn't quite hit their mark, and it's kind of making them, improving them. You know what I mean? So it's like taking a bunch of gross vegetables, putting them in a stew, and then making it taste delicious, is what I kind of like to equivalent it to. So for me, I think that it actually looks significantly more fun than a lot of the things it has sort of absorbed, personally. I think the only thing that kind of distanced me from the mode, or like distanced my feelings towards it, was the fact that, kind of like what you were saying, is that there wasn't really like a really like kind of connecting theme to it. It was just kind of like, here's what you can do, here's how it works, as opposed to, well, what is it? You know what I mean? We weren't really told what it is initially until the very end, which I find very interesting. I don't think the mode itself is bad. I don't think the mode itself is like anything remotely. I think it actually looks like a lot of fun. I just kind of wish they would have told me right off the bat, here is the new single player adventure mode, and this is how it works. So
yeah. Well, I'll ask something after, but like, I guess it comes down to, because I'm more disappointed than you are. I don't hate it again.
Yeah.
But I am disappointed by it because I guess it comes down to like what me and you kind of want and stuff. Because, well, we both like Subspace Emissary.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to games, I guess like in terms of like fighting games and stuff, I guess try to relate it more. I like when it include like a good story mode, slash adventure mode, or and just normal fighting. Because I'll put more time in like the story mode than kind of anything else, rather than on the same terms of like the fighting.
Yes.
Because like I know you like all the stuff in Smash, and I do that stuff too. Like I think I did almost or all the events in
Yeah.
Smash. Like that was really fun, and like the classic mode, also All Star mode. But there's a lot of stuff in Smash that I don't touch, and you do, and that I have nothing against it. It's just not what I look to play. You know.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And you're completely right. We have two very kind of unique approaches to fighting games and stuff like that. I know that you like story modes in fighting games a lot of the time, or like you like to play them and stuff like that. For me, I usually find them to be very unintuitive in a fashion, because like to give you an example, Dragon Ball FighterZ story mode was like something that I just felt was more tedious than it was very helpful. Like it had tutorial stuff in there, and that was great, but I was like halfway through the game and it was still trying to teach me stuff that I already knew to the very core. And this is a little different, where it's not you're just gonna fight over and over and over and over and over until you get to the very end. It seems like it's gonna be you're fighting, but you're fighting very unique, like different styles of kind of opponents. You're fighting, here's an assist trophy that's guarding a giant version of this character, or here is a character with extended reach or better grabs. And it's making customs and adventure mode slightly more interesting. And I can appreciate that, because that's fun to me. Me personally.
But my question was, because I thought one thing, but I'm questioning it now. Is Spirits mode and World of Light the same thing? Because I thought it was at first, but I thought the fact that they called it World of Light at the very end was interesting.
Yeah, so I was initially confused on that as well. One of the questions I had was like, so is it 2 modes or 1? And so
my assumption is you click Spirits mode, and there's like the World of Light, which is the adventure mode, and then there's like kind of like the custom things that you're saying.
Yeah, so
and you can just pick what kind of fighting you want, like what type of opponent you want.
Yeah, so here's the funny thing. The Nintendo Treehouse that the Western viewers got, was characters we didn't know about, or like they kind of went over, and I watched it. They played as characters. They played like King K. Rool, who looks amazing, by the way. Like, oh my gosh, I'm sold on this character. They showed off Isabelle. They showed off Simon. Like, they showed them off. They played as these characters. They didn't just just say they're in the game. They actually played them. They showed off like every single one of their moves, every single thing they can do. However, for the Japanese audience, they were actually treated to Sakurai taking them through pretty much the entirety of the main menu. So, Spirits mode specifically is actually it is World of Light. When you click on Spirits mode, the central mode is World of Light. The other stuff is like doing specific challenges to earn spirits, like the thing that they were talking about, where it's like you just go in there, you pick a spirit that you want, you fight for that spirit, you win that spirit, and then you can like use that spirit in Spirits mode.
That makes more sense, because it felt like, again, I was kind of confused on the subject, but part of it initially, before they showed the adventure mode, was it seemed like it's called Special Smash, where you could pick however, like, certain traits to a fight, and then you do it. I forget what it seemed like that, except with spirits.
Yeah, which it pretty much boils down to, which I think is interesting enough. It basically, when you step into Spirits mode, that's how the game works from then on. Like, it's all about spirits you equip, spirit points, things like that. And so that's basically what it boils down to, is that it's still Smash Brothers. It's just a slightly more complex version of it.
Okay, because I do want to say, like, the World of Light section, I thought that turned me around on it. I think that looks really cool. I'm going to play that a lot.
Yes, I 100% agree with that too. A World of Light looks amazing. I have to say though that I am rather surprised at how just how deep it is. Like, they actually have a rock paper scissors kind of style thing going on there, where attack beats grab, grab beats shield, shield beats, like that's wow. Okay, I didn't think about that. Like
Sakurai is a big fan of Fire Emblem. So.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And beyond that, though, there's a lot of stuff here. Like you can send your spirits to basically the PC and send them to the island and do treasure hunting and training and selling and summoning and combining. Like, what the heck? Like, this is like, I remember literally like, this is like a mobile game mixed with like Pokemon elements. Like, this is crazy. This is so weird. And like I mentioned, I like it substantially more than like Stickers in Brawl, because Stickers in Brawl were just enhancements that you could only use in the subspace mode. So you had like a buttload of stickers that you just didn't even use. So, but overall, I think that Spirits mode looks exciting, looks very interesting to me. However, if there's one kind of thing that I'm not 100% certain on, is that it looks like a mode that you can't really explain it to me to sell me on it. I need to try it.
Yeah.
I need to try the Spirits mode to really see if I like it, because I like what I'm seeing, but there could be that element of like, maybe this isn't quite what I'm looking for or I'm expecting. So
yeah, for me, I would say the adventure mode side, World of Light, looks awesome. I can't wait to play that.
yes,
But all the extra stuff with the spirits, I think it looks all right. But again, whoever does it, all the more power to you,
excuse me. Yes, I'm pretty much with you on that, exactly. The other stuff looks a little too, like, it might end up being super good, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So, I guess, one last thing I wanted to say was that I am extremely happy that they showed us the final roster of like what it looks like when you have all the characters.
Yeah.
I love that. I love seeing all those fighters. I cannot wait to just try them all, even the ones I know I'm not going to like. I genuinely think this is going to be one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, so this Direct has made me even more hyped. I'm extremely hyped for it.
But Blake, do you have your game pre-ordered? Are you getting this game day one?
I need to get a Switch first.
Ooh, is that a fake Smash fan I hear?
That is a fake Smash.
I'm getting this game day one, Blake. I have it pre-ordered. I'm ready to go.
I need to pre-order. I need to go do that right now. Oh, I might do that right now.
Ooh.
But anyways, this game's going to be hype. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be so much fun. I genuinely think this is going to be one of the best games ever.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think, is there anything else at all you wanted to add?
Hashtag Rex for Smash.
I 100%.
Let's get it going, people.
We're going to put that in the description, please.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess that concludes this discussion. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to us. We hope to see some of your comments, and whether or not you agree or disagree on any of our points, anything that you notice that we need to take notice of, you guys just let us know down below. All right. Thanks so much again. You guys have a wonderful day. See you in Smash Brothers. Let's go.
Let's do it.